Alright, good night everybody. How y'all doing? How are y'all? Now this class will have the same hectic pace as you're accustomed to seeing with my live sessions, because this is a class we playing for the long game. We aiming for next year, right? So we're gonna go through everything in detail. I will stop and look at questions, stop and answer questions. Good night, Sherelle, Seema, Marcia, Shania, Darlene, Kerti, Abdullah, Mohammed, Liz. Good night, everybody. So what I'm saying is, this class we're gonna be learning from a syllabus perspective, not too much from a past papers perspective, although we will be doing past papers intermittently. Maybe even in this class we'll touch some past papers on the topic, but we are going from a syllabus perspective. We'll be going through everything in detail. So the mathematics syllabus has been updated and implemented last year, June. So everybody should know that. I see 21 viewers here. I know there's about 80 people registered, but I know some people wouldn't be able to watch it live, so they'll be watching it after the event. That's okay. So yeah, so this is a private video. Only people who have the link can view it. So yeah, this you see in here, this was effective from May, June 2018. So it's a kind of, it's only 2 years since this new thing has been going on, and there's been some ups and downs. Last year the paper 2 was alright, but the paper 3 was exceedingly hard. January the paper 3 was very easy, the paper 2 was very hard. This year, for June, the paper 2 was even worse for most students, but the paper 3 was very easy. The paper 3 was alright. Paper 3 was very easy in January, but alright. So the paper 3 was very hard, then very easy, then kinda. So these patterns and things really interest me to just get an idea of what's going on. And before we go into anything, this class wouldn't be, the first half of this class I'll be talking a lot about the syllabus. And you need to pay attention to this to know your enemy or your friend, or whatever matters to you, to know how to approach it now. So I'll be going through the syllabus and give you a little overview of that. So pay attention to this. Let me just pull up this photo. How many topics do you think there are in the syllabus? How many topics do you think there are in the syllabus? How many sections? There are actually 9 sections, and I don't know if you could see that. Just let me know if you could see that. Just let me know if you could see that. The go is press Y in the chat if you could see it. Somebody say 20, somebody say 5. It's actually 9 sections. So just checking on my phone to see how okay. Right, yeah, so you could see that. Alright, great. So there are 9 sections, and the section that we go in order, because we're going according to syllabus. So the section we'll be starting off with, we'll do a bit of this tonight, right? As soon as I'm finished talking about the syllabus and stuff, we'll do a bit of this. Number theory and computation, also known as numeration. Right, and I'm still kind of recovering from all those lies I've been doing. So consumer arithmetic is the next section. These two come in question 1. Excuse. Sets is another question, but this does not come in paper 2 anymore. There's measurement, which is a wide range of topics, statistics, algebra. Then these 3 are the big boys that they bring in section 2 of your paper 2. Does it have bearings? Bearings come along here in geometry. Right? So relations, functions and graph, geometry and trigonometry, vectors and matrices. These are the big bad boys that a lot of schools you don't finish this topic. Like some of these topics you kind of leave them out, but most schools will get the first 6 parts of this down. So anybody have some troublesome topics, we'll be coming down to the troublesome topics maybe later down in the year, but we'll be cleaning up going down. As I said, we're going according to the syllabus. Okay, now you can get the syllabus online, and I'll leave a link in the group, in the WhatsApp chat after the live, because some people pull up the old syllabus and prepare badly, right? So I'll leave a link there for you to check out. Let's check out some more stuff from the syllabus. Examination format. So for everybody, the paper one is, so relations, functions, and graph is problems for some people. The paper one is normally the easiest, simply because maybe about 45 out of these 60 questions repeat. This paper consists of 60 multiple choice items. Anybody in this chat didn't do the exam, never do maths before? I think it may be half and half. Half and half, like some of you all may have done it before and half of you all may not have done it. So if you didn't do maths before, let me know. If you never did before, keep in mind there's a delay in the live, like about 10 seconds, so it takes a little while for me to see the reply after I say something. The paper will consist of 60 multiple choice items. In 1999 was when you did that sometime. Drawn from all sections of the syllabus as outlined. So some people in Form 4. Cool. Now the paper one, back in the days, like back in 2016 and before, paper one then used to be on all of the syllabus, but actually it's on all of the syllabus now. So that's the next thing to note. If anybody's asking for the link in the group chat, you all just repost the link again. Let me just repost it one more time. Yeah, so if anybody need the link here, just repost it in the group chat. I don't see anybody need it. So you have people in Form 4 stuff. So as I was saying, the paper one is on all of the syllabus. It used to be they just get sprinkles at the syllabus. Well, actually not sprinkles, but they used to leave out some things. But now everything you see these, they put us in italics because they squeeze it into the syllabus. And you have different amount of questions, and you'll notice the question is kind of come in bulk in the paper. What I notice is people who weak-ish in maths will have problems with the first few and the last few. But like the middle, the algebra and statistics question, they're kind of okay with that, right, in the multiple choice. But multiple choice, we're going to prepare really well for the multiple choice, even for January, those who want to test the exam in January, to make sure you get between 58 and 60 out of 60, between 58 and 60 by doing lots of questions. Once you do about 5 to 10 multiple choice, you're good to go. With explanation from a teacher, you're pretty good to go. Alright, so that's the paper one. The paper one is not why anyone is here. Why people are here is because of the paper 2. So the paper 2 is when the action really starts. So some people doing it in January, Rosen. Anybody doing it in January? Alright, a little bit of Form 4 people as well. So yeah, I know there's half and half, some Form 4, some Form 5, and some who repeating, or some who doing it privately. The marks allocated to the, right, so the paper 2 is 2 hours and 40 minutes. If you didn't know, the paper 1 is 1 hour and 30 minutes. The paper 2 is 2 hours and 40 minutes. And these are how the marks are arranged. So when people tell me where's the topic that carries the most mark, it's actually geometry and trigonometry. So you can't duck this. You can't duck relations and functions. 20 marks, 21 marks. Between relations, functions, and graph and geometry and trigonometry, that is 40% of the exam there already. That is 40% of the exam. If you throw in the investigation question, which came really weird this year, really weird this year, if you throw in that, you reach the 50% already, right? So this is like 3 hard parts here that making you fail or pass the exam whether you know it or not. The statistics, the measurement, the algebra, and the number one question, consumer arithmetic and arithmetic, people normally find is easy. And then there's the vectors and matrices, which I left out here. Right, so we'll be going through in depth. Remember, we're going from a syllabus point of view. When I'm teaching and I have less than 5 months to spare, I have to go from a past paper point of view. But now we have much more than 5 months, and we can go from a syllabus point of view and go through the topics and then address it back from a past paper point of view. Right, so these are what people will call the harder topics here, and these are what people will call the easier topics here. Like these are the first few questions. Alright, the investigation question will be set on a combination of objectives, This investigation question is like they can bring anything. They can bring anything. This year they proved that for real, for real. 2 hours and 40 minutes is this paper. 10 compulsory questions. Any questions concerning this paper? If you all have questions, feel free to interrupt. I'm accustomed to my live chat being real crazy because of the amount of people I normally have when I'm doing a public video. But this is a private video, only people who registered could see this. Alright, let's look at the paper tree. This is another reason. This is another touchy area here. Let's see what's going on. I just need to pull up this. No one has done vectors yet. So I'm pulling up the paper tree here. Right, so your paper tree could be one of two things. It could be the SBA, and I'm going to tell you something really important now, so pay attention. Your paper tree could be the SBA, or your paper tree could be the what we call paper tree. I did the exam in 2016, never did an investigation, so it's where to me. I haven't seen a syllabus since then, yeah. So we'll go through some of that. I need a lot of help in bearings, and I've done vectors and matrices also, right? So that's coming down to the end of the year. You want to make sure and get a solid foundation. I have never done vectors and matrices, sorry. January 2021 is when someone is doing. Alright, so the SB, you normally, once you pay attention and you keep deadlines in your school and you follow my guidelines, and I will give you sample SBs, and I'm going to give you at least 10 sample SBs and even a structure where you could just take, modify, and make it your own. You're going to get between 17 and 20 out of the 20% in this. You hear what I said? You're going to get between 17 and 20 unless you're hardened and you absolutely refuse to do it. It's just kind of impossible to score under 17% unless a teacher don't like you or some kind of thing, and you follow the instructions that I gave you, will give you. So the SBA is the safest route. Now some of y'all will inevitably end up doing this, the paper tree, a 1 hour paper which consists of 2 questions where every single mark is a percent, 2 10-mark questions where every single mark is a percent, and that will be a flip of a coin, especially if you're not into. So I will start to give you all SBA content and stuff soon, those who are asking about the SBA. I just need to get out of the exam season because right now I'm just juggling too much things. So once you're out of the exam season, I will start giving you all links for all the SBA and stuff. There'll be a worksheet that will be sent to you all tomorrow based on what we learning tonight. Right? So we're just going through the syllabus, and then we'll go through we'll start maths, and I'll give you all a worksheet on that from tomorrow. So yeah, what I want to tell you all now, any private student out here, we have any private student out here, if you can afford it and if you can do it, sign up for an actual class so that you can get to do the SBA. Sign up in an actual school, private school, whatever. If you can afford it, if you can do it part-time. Rather you do the SBA. If you're weak in maths. If you're pretty strong in maths and you feel like you'll have a grip of this, and you have no problems with this, I am going to teach everything in the syllabus. But if you don't want to take any chances, the best thing is the SBA. SBA is 3 marks. Paper 3, 2, you need to earn your marks, right? So if you can afford it, and if you can set up in any private school like CTS, upper level, whatever, and work out a part-time arrangement with them where you can hand in an SBA in again, right? So see if you'll need to call, someone asks how do I sign up for a private school, you'll need to call those private schools, CTS, upper level, whatever, and see. Price it out and see if it's within your range, if it's acceptable, because remember your aim is to pass maths, to get on with your life and get maths out of it. Some people may not want to see maths again after. Some people might decide to come and teach maths to thousands of students on YouTube like me. I don't know. But SBA is the best bet, right? So the SBA, I already have 2 videos on YouTube up on this, and I'm going to waste time talking about the SBA, and I will expand on this as the time progresses, right? So let me just get to the exam season. The paper 3, I already explained this. This is 2 questions consisting of 10 marks each. And well, as I said, the first paper 3 that they brought last year was very hard, on the scale of hard. Then the paper 3 that they brought in January was very easy. Then the paper 3 that they brought now going back a little hard, but not as hard as last year. So you're kind of going up and down things. So I don't know what's going to happen in January. We don't know. I think with paper 3, you're just taking chances. Alright? So paper 3 requires you to have a solid understanding of mathematics. It requires you to have a solid understanding on a wide range of topics in mathematics to perform well, to get that 20 marks. Let's go forward now. So zip. Any questions concerning that? I live in Jamaica and I'm 10 years and do get the option to do SB. If you don't get the option, well, you have to do paper 3, inevitably. Can you put the name of the private schools who can do the SB? I know one of them is CTS in Shoguners. Right. I'll see if I find out anymore, and you'll just remind me in the chat. Let's just take a look at one or two more things before we start some teaching. Weighting of paper and profiles. So can pick any option. No, you can't just pick any option. You must be signed up at a school to do a SBA. And some private schools don't allow SBA, as this person said, who's in Jamaica. They don't allow the SBA. The school doesn't offer the SBA, so you still have to do the paper 3. And I know a few owners of private school who do paper 3. They don't have that option to do the SBA. So it's an uphill battle. Here's how the papers are weighted. Someone said St. Kevin's in San Fernando as well, so you can check them out. What's the pass grade for CSEC? The pass grade for CSEC maths is around 50%. Now CXC doesn't specify, but it's around 50%. Could be a little lower. Could be a little higher too, but I think it's a little lower. So yes, 75 plus 70 plus is a 1. Around 60% plus is a 2. 60% plus is a 2, and around between 45 and 55% is the pass rate. Now it seems like it shifts according to how people do, but CXC says it doesn't shift. But I say it seems like it shifts. So we'll see how that goes. That's how it really is. Alright, let's go. So there are 3 things that they test, and this is important to know. As I said, these things you might overlook this, but it's kind of important to have an idea of this. Knowledge, comprehension, and reasoning. The problem we're having within CXC and SEA, for those of you all who heard about the SEA exam, is that you see this comprehension and you see this reasoning. They're going all out on these 2 topics. They're making it a little harder. You need to understand a topic inside out if you want to do well. You can't just kind of bluff it through with past papers that easily in maths. In fact, as some of you all may be aware, I teach a lot of subjects, and all the subjects we teach for the exams were easy. All were easy except maths. Except maths. For that reasoning and comprehension. All were easy this year except maths. Because they really want you to know. And that's why I opened this course as one of the reasons why I have this course. To just combat that, so that people will have an opportunity to sign up and learn maths inside out, so that they'll be better prepared to do these two profiles. This is what some teachers, you'll hear them saying, the KCR. Your SB is also marked on KCR as well. Alright, so comprehension, reasoning. Let's see how it goes for the paper very quickly. Now you know the paper 1 is 30%, paper 2 is 50% of your final mark, and the paper 3 is 20% of your final mark. You want to try and get as close to 30% as possible here. If you're doing the SB, you want to try and get all of that 20%, and this is where this is Sparta. This is where you had a kind of battle for that 50%, right? If you get high marks in paper 1 and 2 but do bad in paper 3, can you still pass? It depends. It depends on how you do. It depends on how you do overall, right? So it depends on how bad you do in paper 3 and how good you do in paper 1 and paper 2. As I said, try and get above 50% total. The KCR, it's kind of nice to know how that goes. 70% of mathematics is on comprehension and reasoning. Only 30% is on knowledge. Only 30% is on things that you memorize and that you do back. All the rest is on figuring out stuff. Reading and figuring out stuff. 70%, right? And that 70% is be the fight up. Let's look at some more stuff. Right, so we're getting into this heart of the syllabus here. The first topic that we are going to do is a topic called numeration or computation. I'm going to start some teaching here. I will be constantly using the syllabus and going to and from the syllabus to verify everything, right? To make sure that we're going in line with the syllabus. So the first thing they want you to do is distinguish among sets of numbers. Now this is number one in the syllabus. Now this sets here is not the sets Venn diagram and thing really. Not that yet. What they are talking about is just knowing your natural numbers, your whole numbers, your integers, your rational numbers, your irrational numbers, your real numbers, knowing what this is about. This could come in paper 1 multiple choice. And understanding sequences, which is part of the investigation question. Everyone knows what these symbols mean, so we start in teaching here. Class starter, people. Class start. N, W, Z, seen them here, Q, and R. Anybody knows what the N means? As I said, these classes won't be as heated as my final classes that you have been seeing on YouTube right now, because we are playing for the long game. We are going for the whole year, so it's not like a rush. So N number, no, N doesn't stand for number. Anybody else want to give it a go? We have N, we have W, we have Z. N, W, and Z are the first. Neutral, no. Alright, so let me kill the suspense there. Natural numbers, well done, Seema. Well done, Seema. So natural numbers, and what are natural numbers? Let's raise up the opacity. Natural numbers. What are natural numbers? Natural numbers are counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, going on forever. Those are natural numbers. Counting numbers. Well done, Khadija. Right? Remember, you'll be getting a worksheet on this, so take notes if you have to take notes. If you are a young student and you know that you are on YouTube right now and you know you'll get distracted and watch some other videos in between while you're parenting looking, try not to do that. Take some notes, make sure you get organized. I'll be sending out worksheets and I'll be seeing how people are doing on the worksheets. The answer to the worksheets will be sent out every weekend. Right? Natural numbers. So natural numbers are counting numbers. So here's how we establish that. N, see that there? N is equal to, and you use this curly brackets to mean this set. 1, 2, 3, comma, dot, 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 dot. Close curly brackets. So that is natural numbers there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, going on and on. Natural numbers. And you see the next two here. Whole numbers are natural numbers, but you're including 0. And Z stands for integers. Now what's the difference between integers and whole numbers? I'll be back in two seconds. So the difference between whole numbers and integers is not 0. Integers have the negative sign before the numbers, kind of. Integers, that set includes positive, what we call positive and negative integers. So we have positive and negative. Positive and negative integers. So integers allow for negative numbers. Because remember, whole number starts at 0. So as you're going down the list, you start to realize what's happening here. So this was just counting numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one we chose 0 in the dance. This one, we start to go backwards. We are allowing negative numbers. We could have positive integers. Very good, Jill. Very good, A-Team Gaming. I don't know your real name. So Z could have negative and positive numbers, but Z stands for integers. N and W make sense because N is natural, W is whole numbers, but Z is the symbol we use for integers. Q and R are a little harder to understand. Christian. Q and R a little harder to understand. Let's look at Q and R now. What does Q stand for? Q stands for rational numbers. The good thing about it, you don't need to know too much about this. But as I said, we're just explaining everything so that you'll have a clear understanding of maths as a whole. And R stands for real numbers. Now what's a rational number? What's a rational number? So here we have it there, and then they have this funny symbol here, which if you're looking at your syllabus, and I'll give you the link for your syllabus after the live, kind of what really going on here. And then there's something called irrational numbers, which I didn't mention, and then there's real numbers. Now what going on there? All right, rational numbers. For now, I just want you to think of it as allows for fractions, right? Fractions also. So remember, everything keep including in something new. The first thing was natural numbers, N. I was just counting. The second thing was, yes, very done, very well, Jill. The second thing was whole numbers that add in 0. The third thing was integers that add in the negative. The fourth thing is rational numbers, which allows for fractions. So it starts to allow for numbers like 1.2 or 1.333 recurring. You understand? So rational numbers allow for fractions. And there's a way to express this. We're going to explain it just now. And finally, real numbers are the combination of rational and irrational numbers. So you might be thinking, you mean it have more numbers? You have whole numbers, you have natural numbers, and natural first, natural numbers, whole numbers. What's the next one? Integers, positive and negative integers, then rational numbers. So what's an irrational number? Since we put in fractions already, yes. There's another set of numbers called irrational numbers. So let's look at the biggest. Can anyone give me the biggest example of an irrational number? The biggest example of an irrational number? No, it's not decimals. What is the biggest example out there, the one that they always use of an irrational number? Pi. Well done, Cheryl. Good job. So an irrational number, an example is pi. Now what makes this number irrational? What makes this number irrational? Symbol for pi, a whole number with a fraction, not a whole number with a fraction. An irrational number is a number like pi. Another example is e, right? The constant e. Number, or another example, is the square root of 2. These numbers, there's no order about them. They are the true essence of the word irrational. Even with recurring numbers, you'll see 7.333, and then you're catching your mind that, okay, that 3 is going to recur forever. pi, we estimate it as 3.14, but do you know these decimal places just go on with random numbers forever and ever, and there's never a pattern. There's no pattern. Pi is the ratio of the diameter to the circumference of a circle. This number e, which you don't need to know about, advanced people will kind of know about it. The sign for irrational numbers, I'm going to give you the sign for irrational numbers just now. And you'll see how intuitive it is. Right, so e is another one, that's 2.7 something, and it just keeps going on and on. Square root of 2, if you put this in your calculator, you'll see the decimal places just keep going on, and it doesn't, you wouldn't decode a pattern involved. Right, so irrational numbers are like that. There's no pattern to the decimals that recur afterwards. So far we had n as the first one, and in n is like the counting numbers. Then if you want to add on a next circle outside of that, we have w. If you want to add a next circle outside of that, what do we have? Z. Let's throw in another circle. That's a kind of bad circle. If we put a next circle on top of that, what do we have? So you understand what I'm doing? I'm saying that this is in the whole numbers, natural numbers. You could be a natural number. If you're a natural number, you are a whole number. If you are a whole number, you are an integer. If you are an integer, next one is going to be q. Very good. And then finally, the big set. I'll put a rectangle for this one since we kind of finishing with that here. In terms of this, we still have an hour and change to go. Is the set of real numbers. Now there are imaginary numbers, but we just machinery breaks here. In maths. There's something called imaginary numbers, which is the square root of -1. Right? So there's even more to go. But we can stop here. And we use capital R. We use capital letters. I've seen people putting common letters. We use capital letters when we defining this. So people are asking about something called, well, what we talked about just now, the irrational numbers. The irrational numbers had a line outside by themselves. How are we going to denote it though? You're going to use this symbol. And let me see if anybody, this will ring a bell for anybody. Q, and they put a dash there. You understand? Q dash. Or Q prime. Q complement. Means everything that's outside of Q. So that's your irrational numbers. Example of this is like pi. Alright, so you'll be getting questions on this, so make sure you understand this completely. Any questions, feel free to ask. Now they can ask you like simple questions on this in your multiple choice. They have already asked simple questions and understanding this diagram and understanding what a natural number is. Like they can give you a number and ask you if it's a natural number, stuff like that. So let's head back to the syllabus and see if we have everything down. You don't understand irrational numbers? That's good, because the irrational, nobody understands them. Nobody understands them. I haven't learned pi, I don't know why. Alright, so good. What you don't understand in irrational numbers. Now remember, the thing that I want you all to get accustomed to in this chat is telling me where you don't understand, what you don't understand. So don't just say you don't understand. See, try and ask a specific question. Let's see. Alright, so now I'll just cover the symbols for this, the jargon for this. Rational numbers are denoted by P over Q, where P and Q are integers. This just means a fraction, like any number, right? Where P and 2 could be any number, so you can have a number like 2 over 3. You can have a number like 2 over 3 is 0.6663, like 1 over 5. Or if you want a whole number, you can have a number like 10 over 1, which is 10. That making sense? Everything with pi I wasn't taught it. That's okay, that's okay. Make sure you understand what's in here now. Stuff that's outside of here, we come into that. Real numbers. So just reading here. So real numbers, when you add the rational and irrational numbers together, you get real numbers. Sequences of numbers that have irrecognizable pattern. So we ignoring this part because we'll be doing this with investigation. The only thing you need to know here is really your even numbers, your odd numbers, your prime numbers, your composite numbers, your square numbers, and understanding factors and multiples. Right, so we're gonna touch on the even and odd stuff. But before I go on, somebody said they didn't understand irrational numbers. Any more questions or specific questions on what we just do? We actually just covered a part of the syllabus here. It might just be 1%, but we have to start somewhere, right? Any specific questions on this? You need to know the definition, meaning how to write them. So as you're taking it down in your notes, make sure you have how to write them, where n is equal to the set. You use this symbol and you use your 1, 2, 3, dot, dot, dot. Make sure you have all of these. They're right here. So I'm going to put a rectangle around it because you need to memorize this. So you need to write that down. And so that's one thing. This thing in red here, you need to know that as well. I'll make a box around this whole thing. You need to memorize that. You need to give examples of irrational numbers like pi and square root of 2 pi. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about that for the person who didn't understand. You need to know that real numbers are irrational and irrational numbers together. Just recapping, you must know your symbols, what letter stands for what. Maybe I might do a little challenge in the ending to see who could type the answer fastest first or something. And then, final thing, this diagram. You must be able to understand what is happening. This is called a Venn diagram from sets. Understand why this diagram is as it is. Like why the natural numbers is in the inside, because you know that one is the first one, counting, then you start to include 0, then you include negative numbers too, then you include in fractions. This is pi and square root of 2 and irrational numbers, and this whole thing is the real numbers all together. It's just like different sets. It's like Shogunas is in Trinidad, which is in the Caribbean, which is in the world or something like that. This is Mars because Mars not in the world, and this is the whole solar system here. It's like that, exactly like that. Alright, so the irrational numbers. Oh, how to write irrational numbers. You don't need to know how to write irrational numbers. All you need to know is this: irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be expressed as terminating or recurring decimals. Ignoring the big words, there's no pattern in the decimals. There's no pattern. Right? Irrational numbers, there's no pattern. You don't need to know, like how you see all these guys have a little squiggly bracket and think about them. 1, 2, 3, comma, dot, dot, dot. There's nothing. You don't need to know anything like that for irrational number. You should know the symbol is Q. Q complement. This sign here, this is not a 1, it's a dash. It means complement. So you should know that. Q complement. Any more questions? That's a good question. So the irrational numbers are numbers which we can't really put a grasp on the numbers. By the way, this is the calculator I recommend. If you want to know where to get the calculator and you're in Trinidad, I can give you a link for the calculator. Right? This calculator, you can do lots of stuff in the exam to help you out and to check over your work. Simultaneous equation, quadratics, matrices, and I explained a lot of this for those of you who follow the channel. So ready to move on? Could get some next day. Ready to move on. So okay. Even numbers, odd numbers, prime numbers, composite numbers, you must know who these guys are. Now, these guys were introduced to you in primary school, but you must have a good idea of these guys, right? Don't let them hurt up your head. So everybody know even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. Going on, numbers that are exactly divisible by 2. You can divide by 2 and get no remainder. And everybody know odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. These numbers, when you divide by 2, you get a remainder of 1. You get a remainder. So some people touching down late. That's okay, that's okay. By the way, the live will remain up, but only for people who are registered, only for people who have the link. So the link will remain up in the group, so you all can watch it anytime, and then I'll have a whole catalog of the link on a private site for you all. Alright, so that's coming down later in the year when we start have a lot of classes and you need to go through the link. You need to go through the classes better. Understand? You need to see a catalog of them. Prime numbers is where people start to get a little trouble. Prime numbers and numbers. What is a prime number? Can anybody give me the definition of a prime number and a composite number? Or if not the definition, give me an example of a prime number. And give me an example. Right, so Christian, give me an example of prime numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17. That's good, he didn't leave out any. So those are prime numbers, and what's so special about them? And composite numbers will be, yes, so C is correct. 7, yes. Very good. So prime numbers are numbers, well, you kind of have it a little back to front there. Numbers that can only be divided by 1 and itself. Not that the number itself could go into 1 and could go into itself. They have only 2 factors. Well done, Christian. Right. So numbers that can only be divided by 1 and itself. So it's important to note, and Christian just established that as well, that prime numbers start from 2 and not 1. 1 is not considered a prime number for reasons. 1 is unity, right? So 1 is not considered a prime number. 2 is the prime number, a number that can only be divided by 1 and itself and is not 1. So 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, and so on. Those are your prime numbers. You must have a general idea of your prime numbers. And composite numbers is the rest. Any number that can be divided by more than 1 and itself, that is a composite number. So once it's not here, it's a composite number. Good to go with that? Yes. So 2 is a rare guy because 2 is actually a prime number, but is also an even number. 2 is the only even number that is a prime number. Right. So composite number, more than 2 factors. Very good. Let's move on. What do we mean by squaring? Like if I say 3 squared, what does that mean? What does 3 squared mean? And a lot of students still make the mistake and put 2 times 3. 6. What is the answer for 3 squared? 1, 2. What is the answer for 4 squared? 3. What is the answer for x squared? So 3 squared is not this. That's wrong. So 3 squared, anytime you're squaring a number, it means multiply the number by itself. So this is 3 by 3, which is 9. 4 squared means 4 by 4, which is not 8, but 16. Right. And x squared is x by x. Now you can't say xt, no. You don't know what's going on there, right? So you have to just stop right there. X squared is x by x. Sorry, we don't know what x is, so we just had to stop right there. Okay, let's take a look at some more. I think there's a number 4. What is 3 cube? What is 2 cubed? What is y cubed? Right, so 3 cubed means 3 by 3 by 3, which happens to be 27, because 3 by 3 is 9. 3 by 3 is 9, and you multiply that by 3, you get 27. 2 cubed is actually 2 by 2 by 2, which it happens to be 8. Very good. I've seen people starting to jump out themselves now. And alright, sure, she'll get back the audio there. So by the way, if you're hearing people shouting in the background, that's my son. I'll let know the thing is go. Let me know if I'm getting back some sound, because I've seen it pumping back here again. Thanks, right? So you're getting some. So great. So let's head back to the syllabus once more. So square numbers, even numbers, odd numbers, prime numbers, composite numbers. Now we're going into some bigger dance. So we're going to start to fry some bigger fish now. So remember, we're going in bite size. I know some people might be saying, wow, this kind of easy. This kind of easy. But we had to go in bite size. We had to go through everything with a fine teeth comb. This is what you are paying for, my friend. So let's take a look at the next part of the syllabus. Bam. So compute powers of real numbers of the form xa, x to the power of a, where a is a rational number. So that's just talking about squares, square roots, cubes, and cube roots. So we talk about squares and square roots. We talked about it. Now remember, this is talking about it is one thing, and you do that question is the next thing. You need to understand what going backwards is about. So like, what is the square root of 16? What is the square root of 25? And you need to know all your squares by heart. You're trying to know all of them by heart up to about 25. But it's okay if you know up to 12. So the square root of 16 means what is the number that when you multiply by yourself you'll get 16? 4. What about 25? It's 5, right? Yes, you will be able to rewatch the live. That's no problem. A lot of people ask that already, because some people come home from work late. Some people may miss some lives and stuff like that. Some people have lessons. Some people, for other reasons, they may have to leave early. So the live will be up. So you have 4 and 5. You must know all your squares straight up to 12. So very quickly, I'll just say them because we have time. It's like the exam is next year. 1 squared, 1, 2 squared, 4, 3 squared, 9, 4 squared, 16, 5 squared, 25, 6 squared, 36, 7 squared, 49. You must know them. 8 squared, 64, 9 squared, 81, 10 squared, 100, 11 squared. So this is just your timetables. 12 squared, 144, 13 squared, 169, 14 squared, 196, I believe. 15 squared, 225. And I keep going on and on like that. So, in other words, if you find the square root of 100, if I find the square root of 100, I'm going to go back to 10. If I find the square root of 169, I'm going to go back to 13. If I find the square root of 121, I'm going to go back to 11. Similarly, if I find the cube root, and since I'm doing cube, I have to put a 3 now, of what number by 8. We did 8 just now. For those who ask about physics, maybe after this I'll do a physics. But what happened, since it's a private live stream, I'll see I'm getting calls from CXC, the Ministry of Education, my principal, because I have basically the biggest channel on YouTube in terms of CAPE and CXCs. A lot of people are concerned about what I am doing. It's like hard to put into words. So they just want to make, I guess they just want to make sure that I am not the cause of the leaks or anything like that, which is something I totally stand against in my channel, as those who follow my channel would know. So I just have to make sure my scene is clear before I do that physics multiple choice past paper, because the people are watching, man. The people are watching. So I have to make sure and have everything clean and clear. So the cube root of 8 is 2, because if I do 2 by 2 by 2, I will get 8, right? So I don't want to, yes, I don't want to study them, but at the same time, I'm a teacher in the Ministry of Education. Now, I'm not doing anything illegal. I can practically do everything on CXC, and once I am teaching, it's under the grounds of fair use. I'm teaching. It's not like I'm using it for profit or anything like that, or selling back their content. But you still want to not create enemies in the Ministry of Education at the same time. But when they found out what's going on, one of the persons I spoke to was really impressed with the channel, and they wanted me to continue, but you know, you still had to make sure everything clean and clear. 2 by 2 by 2, right? So we talked about cube root. Let's go into the big fish now. So what we're gonna go into is LCM and HCF. Yeah, so I can really see that on my Instagram, because my Instagram is the next very public thing. But I'll just tell you all know that this, because this is private. So LCM and HCF. LCM and HCF. What you know about LCM and HCF, people? What does it stand for? People mix up the two, you know. You see, find the LCM, yes, lowest common multiple, highest common factor. That's what it stands for. Well done, Cheryl. You see, give me the, alright, let me ask you all the question then. Give me the LCM of 8 and 12. I want the LCM. What is the LCM of 8 and 12? Lowest common multiple, highest common factor. It's true, it's true. What is the lowest common multiple of 8 and 12? So a lot of people are saying 2. Roseanne is the first one to pull out the correct answer. So we had Kemi, Marcia, Cheryl, Darlene, Michelle, Liz, Whitney, all you holding. All you got the whole LA, Tishan and Catwell of TNT. Yeah. The answer is actually not 2, you know. So multiple means multiply. That means times tables. That means when I do the timetable for 8 and for 12, what is the first number that I'm seeing pops up? Factor means factorize the two numbers. What are the two numbers that could go into this, and what's the highest one of them? So this is the most common mistake, and you see all that jump through that mistake there. And I teach a lot of students. I've been teaching for like about 15 years, and I taught a lot of students in that 15 years, and I'm telling you where the mistakes jump out, especially if you're now crawling out of the weakness in maths. Mixing up LCM and ACF is a big holding your L is a big mistake. Try not to do this. LCM, lowest common multiple, multiply times tables. For 8 and 12, multiply those two numbers, get the timetable there. LCM for 8 is 16. You can't find the LCM of one number or the HCF of one number. You could only find the LCM and HCF if you have two numbers, because you need to compare the two numbers and see which one is common. This word here, this letter here, C, means common. So what is common among the two or more numbers? It can be more, it can be 3, it can be 4. So you can't say the LCM of 8 is 16. That's not true. There's no common multiple with 8. You can say the LCM of 8 and 4, which wouldn't be 16, which would be 8 actually. You can see the LCM of 8 and 4 is 8. Right? But you can't say LCM by itself. The LCM of 8 and 12 is actually 24. And this is how you work out LCM. I'm going to do one and I'm going to ask some questions. Look out for your worksheet tomorrow, most likely in the morning, but maybe in the evening too, depending on how much time go. 8 and 16. So we want the 8 and 12 is the LCM we wanted. This is the long way to do it. Write out the tables 8, 16, 24. Like write out the first 3 and then try again 12, 24. Well, I just write in 36 for kicks now because I already see 24 showing up here and here. It means the LCM is 24. So if you understand this, can you just type Y in the chat? If you understand this, press Y in the chat. So this is the long cut way for finding LCM. Yes, the HCF of 8 and 12 is 4. That's correct. The HCF for 8 and 12 is 4, and we'll come to HCF shortly. So what's the short way, you may be asking, what's the short way for finding LCM then? It's, once again, this is a primary school method. I might be bringing back memories here. I hope it's not painful memories. So 8 and 12, you say 2 into 8. You start off with the, yes, you're using prime numbers here, right? Once again, ignore the screaming in the background. That's my son doing his thing. So you're starting off with the prime numbers here. Yes, Christian, this is the shortest way. So let me just get another pen. Blow you down to about there. Thing. Right. So 2 into 8. Actually, the shortest way is just knowing it offhand, like you say 8 and 12 and you do it in your mind and you pull it out. But sometimes you may have like 3 numbers that kind of big and you can't really figure it out, so you have to use this way. This is the shortest way when you don't know what's going on, right? So 2 into 8 is 4, 2 into 12 is 6. Understand? Then you do 2 into 4, because you can do 2 again. 2 into 4 is 2, and 2 into 6 is 3. Can we do 2 still? Yes. 2 into that is 1, just leave the 3. Can we do 2 still? No, so we have to go up to the next prime number, which is 3. And 3 into that is 1, 1. Once you have 1s here, stop. Now, your job is to multiply those numbers there. So you say 2 by 2, 2 by 2 by 2 by 3. 2 by 2 is 4, and 2 by 3 is 6. So this is 2 by 2 is 4, and 2 by 3 is 6. 4 by 6 is, so your answer is 24. So this is the way you do it if you're getting problems with it. Right, so let me give you all 3 questions. Let's see if you can get them all out. 1. LCM of 3 and 4. 2. LCM, so we're doing LCM here, right? LCM of 5 and 10. I'll give you all 4 questions. LCM of 7, 2, and 7, 2, and 4. And 4, the LCM. So when you put in the answer, write which question you put in the answer for. So Sorry for sniffling and thinking. That's my immune system down from all these late nights. 3, 4, 5, 10, 7, 2, 4, and number 4, the LCM of 10, 12, and 8. So number 1 is 12. Yes, so this one is easy. This one you should be able to pull from your mind. Now the reason you're not be able to pull this from your mind is because this 3 and 4 comes a lot, and you need to be able to do LCM very good. Very good to start your fractions. Now, we're weak students in mathematics. Their first demon, the first demon in maths is fractions. And this one greets you in standard 3, standard 2. And this happens because of timetables being weak in LCM. So you need to get strong in LCM. 12. Number 2 is 10. Very good. Number 2 is 10. So sometimes the LCM turns out to be one of the biggest number. You realize that 5 can go into 10. 10 could go into 10, and 5 could go into 10. So LCM is 10. And with this one, LCM is 14. Right? If you watch that and you saw it, that's very good. If you just watch it and see it, that's excellent. And for number 4, somebody is saying 240. Well, that seems like a kind of big number. So let's do our thing. So I use big numbers here because you can't really, it's kind of hard to just see it one time. 40, 80, 120. I don't know if it could go into 120. So it could be 120, it could be 240. So I just checking in on my numbers, which looking like it now. 120 looking kind of good, not 80. So you understand what I do? Since 10 have to be a number, the number must be a 10, 20, 30. So I try 40 because I know 8 could go into 40, but 12 can't. And then I try 80, but 12 can't. And then I try 120. I don't know. Could be 120. 120 sounding good. Some people say 240. So this is where you pull out the long method. Let's pull out the long method. So we're gonna put the numbers here. Numbers are 10, 12, and 8. 10, 10, 12, and 8. Start off with a low number like 2. Low prime number. 5, 6, 4. The good thing about this is they all boil down pretty quick. That's a good sign. 2 into this. Now it's 5, 3, and 2. We could still squeeze out another 2 and get 5, 3, and 1. Now a shortcut you could do here is, since you're only seeing prime numbers here, you just multiply them by the prime numbers. But I'll just do the long way for people who are accustomed seeing it the long way. 3, 5, 1, 1, and then 5, 1, 1, 1. Y is in the chat if you understand that. Now let's multiply these numbers. I'll do them like this first. Well, I know 2 by 2 by 2 is 8, and I know 3 by 5 is 15. Understand? 2 by 2 by 2 is 8, and 3 by 5 is 15. So all I need to do is 8 times 15. Put that in my calculator. I get 120. So 120 is the LCM. So you all understand this? So number 3 is 28. Oh yes, number 3 is 28. I made a mistake here. What I did, I just take somebody's answer. My bad. Who spotted that? Very good. Alright, so 7, 2, 4. I had 14, but the problem is 4 can't go into 14. So normally when you see an error like this, the next thing to do is double up on this number. So that's a shortcut when you're working out LCM. Now this part of your brain needs to develop, and this could only develop by doing. And you all probably heard me say I'm taking my public classes, my one-on-one classes, and my private one-on-one classes, and bringing them online. when I teach students one-on-one, I don't know if there's any students that I taught here before, but one-on-one or in small group classes, the first thing I do, they always expect me to come and show them all the miracle methods. They hear so much about Cohen Spring and they want miracle methods and shortcut. The first thing I do is give them an insane amount of homework. So to sort out your problems in maths, you need to do a lot of homework in algebra and arithmetic. If you have problems in maths, algebra and arithmetic. I went to school in Presentation College, and my homework, you ever get one of those maths teachers who get you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, down to Z in the alphabet? That's how we used to do it back then. You're finishing multiple notebooks in one term. Just homework. 3-4 notebooks in one term. And because of that, your algebra and your arithmetic strong, hard like big stone. And that's how you need to get sharp in the maths. But if you're weak in maths, your maths stamina, what I call your maths stamina, it doesn't be that developed yet now. So you really have that energy. Like right now, 101 12 minutes of maths probably done have some people like, whew, tired. And you're only watching the time. But you need to develop your maths stamina to be able to do it. Alright, so this was 14, this was 120. 12, 10, 12, 10, 14, 120. So that's LCM. Let's start to look. What time will class finish? Class will finish. Class will finish in the next 48 minutes. So you have 3/4 of an hour again. Class finishes 9 o'clock. Wait. So some people just getting video unavailable, so I just send in the link one more time. Jeez. I see somebody else send the link. If you're not getting through, I don't know what's going on with you. If you're not getting through, you're not here, right? But if you're not getting through, like if some other day you don't get through, try restarting your WhatsApp, or what's the next thing that's working for people? Copying the link and putting it somewhere else, putting it in your browser directly. Copying the link. The other step that will work for sure is if you type up the link, like you watch it on my phone and you type the link. So if nothing can work, you can type up the link. This class is every Tuesday. Every Tuesday from 7 to 9. If you miss it, you can always watch it afterwards. But to be in the live is be better. Alright, so how many days a week is the class? Right, so let's go forward. So that's LCM. Hopefully we touch these fractions in a little bit. Let's talk about the other guy, HCF. So HCF is highest common factor. So can you find the HCF of these numbers? 1, 2. The HCF of 15 and 30. The HCF of 8, 4, and 12. The HCF of 24 and 20. And the HCF of 28 and 35. Already wrong thing, alright, 24, 23. Yeah, already. Oh, I think I talked about this just now, right? I hope I didn't cross up myself. So this is 28, yes. So number 1, 3, 5, 10. No. Number 1 is 30, number 2 is 12, and number 3 is 2. Someone is saying. Number 2 is 4, someone is saying. Somebody connect WhatsApp on their laptop and that makes it easy. 30. Number 1, I'm looking for the answer for number 1, but I ain't seen the answer yet. Somebody give me the answer for number 1. Remember what we're doing now is HCF and not LCM. I've seen some LCM looking answers. HCF. What is the number that could go, what's the highest number that could go into 15 and 30? Number 1 is not 10. Number 1 is not 5 actually. Number 1 ain't 15. Well done, Sherwin William. Well done, my brother. So number 1, the LCM of 15 and 30. The number that can go into both 15 and 30. Now 5 could, but a higher number that could do it is 15. 15 could go into 15 one time and 15 could go into 30. So the answer for number 1 is actually 15. Let's get the answer for number 2. Yeah, 10 can't go into 15. So 10 was out of the dance. And then here you take it 10 smaller than 15. So number 2, a lot of people said 4 for number 2, which is good. Because 4 could go into 8, 4 could go into 4. So the first thing I always do is check the smallest number. So like the smallest number is 15, check and see if it could go into that. If it could, well then 15 is the answer. The smallest number is 4, can it go into these other 2? Well yeah, okay. So 4 is the answer. So the answer, the LCM for that is 4. Smallest number is 20, but 20 obviously can't go into 24. So let's see, what is the answer for 3? What's the answer for part 3? People are saying 4 again. Yes. So what I do is, if you are in doubt, you need to check through mentally, or if you can't, write it down, the factors, and always think and write your factors in pairs. Think or write your factors. So this is 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. 4 by 6 is 24, 3 by 8 is 24, 2 by 12. No other factors. And this allows you to easily figure out the factors. This one is 1 by 20, 2 by 10, and 4 by 5. So the highest common one we see in here is the 4. You understand? So the answer is 4. And everybody is saying 7 for number 4, which is also correct. Alright, so we have HCF, we have LCM, we have the understanding of HCF and LCM down. So let's use this knowledge. Let's go back and take a little peek at the syllabus here. Hey, we did a lot of work today. I mean, it's basic work, but foundation, one thing at a time. We talked about this. You don't need to worry about this in terms of addition, multiplication, subtraction. But we need to start learning how to do it in terms of fractions and decimals, which is what I'm going to go into now. Then you need to know how to convert your fractions, the HCF and LCM. Now this teachers, almost all teachers will teach HCF and LCM first. So that's why I squeeze this in here. We come into basis on the next time. So right, so we on, let's see, we on par here, we in a gear here, right? And you could always check your syllabus home, make sure you have everything, because we're going to go through the entire syllabus. And we're going to do past papers like rain. We're going to do worksheets like rain and try and get you in the best situation. Once you kind of function in this class, you could crack a 2, you could crack a 1. Once you kind of function. If you're real function, you get the distinction too. Right? Let's look at the addition. So let's bring the fractions into the dance. And as I said, fractions is the first problem for people who are weak in maths. If you have a little weakness in the maths, normally fractions is where you hit you first. If it's not fractions, then it's going to be negative numbers. If it's not negative numbers, then it's going to be algebra. If it's not algebra, then it's going to be geometry. So that's how the demons go. These are the things that give people problems in maths. Maybe it was fractions for you that just had you like, damn, maths, boy. Or maybe it was negative numbers. Maybe it was if somebody say they're feeling to go till 10 now, we had to pace it. If I go till 10, I might cap out here. I don't know what's going on with me. And I keep staying alive with herbs and drugs and things. Legal drugs. Algebra. Yeah, so algebra knock out some people when they started bringing x and quadratics and simultaneous equation. That's the craziness there. Or people who catch algebra, they catch negative numbers. When they started going to that geometry and circle geometry and figuring out angles and sine and cosine, and what we'll try to do is make sure everything follows a nice stream here in this class, so you would have no excuse to have any demons in the maths, right? So let's go into fractions. Fractions come in various ways. Now, just eat right and you'll be okay. Yeah, true. That's what I kind of do in herbs and eating right. But no matter if you eat right and exercise right, if you're doing what I am doing, you stand the chance of shutting down in terms of not sleeping properly. And I sleep good. I have no problems with sleep. I just squeeze in sleep to learn so much stuff and teach so much stuff at the moment. But as soon as the exam season done, thing back to normal. Anyhow, so fractions, and by the way, this calculator comes in very handy in dealing with fractions. Very, very handy in dealing with fractions. Because you can just type in the fractions in a natural way. How to convert fractions to decimals and vice versa. So we'll come to that either in this class or the next class. Alright, so fractions, you could have proper fractions like 3 over 4. You could have improper fractions like 5 over 3. And I want you all to tell me why this is called a proper and why this is called an improper. And you can also have what we call mixed numbers. So before we learn to convert backwards and forwards and do all kind of thing, before you learn how to do all them thing, this calculator not that expensive. I mean, it's more expensive than the others, but it's not like it's $1,000. It's $200 and something dollars, closer to $300, I think, $270. So this one is proper. Yes, correct. This one is proper because that numerator, and you know the numerator is the number on top. Numerator. The numerator happens to be smaller than the denominator. So this proper. This going good. What is, and Chuck does sing a song about this. I wonder if anybody know that song from Chuck. I think he sang it a year or two ago. Where he was talking about Satmaraj and a very political song. Anyhow, so the number on top is smaller than the number below. In this one, the number on top, the numerator happens to be bigger than the denominator. So if the denominator is smaller, if the numerator is larger, it kind of top heavy. It's improper, it could fall down, right? If it's proper, it means the numerator is smaller, everything nice. So this nice, this one like, what's going on there? So you can actually change the improper fraction into something called a mixed number, and we'll figure out how to do that just now. And this is the mixed number. We have a whole number and a fraction. So everybody know about this. Let's go forward. Addition of fractions. So adding proper fractions, 3 over 4 plus 1 over 3. Now, if it was like 1 over 4, you just add the numerator, 4, and put back this, 4 over 4. 1 is the answer. That's simple. If the denominators are the same, you just add the numerator. But if the denominators are different, there's a procedure to this. There's a method to the madness. See these two numbers? You have to find, what do you have to find? The LCM. Very good. So 4 and 3. LCM of 4 and 3, which is one of the most common ones they always give, is 12. Now this is the part that tie up students. So practice doing this. Practice doing this in your brain. Practice doing this question so that it becomes easy. You need to say 4 into 12 can go 3 times. So 4 could go into 12 3 times. Let's get another color. Colors are good. Colors are good. So 4 could go into 12. Ping! 3 times. This 3 comes and multiply by that 3 on top there. So 3 by 3 is 9. Then you say 3 can go into 12 4 times. So you'll be like ping 4 times. This 4 comes and multiply by the number on top. Can we see 4 times 3? Yes, 4 times 3. But not all the time. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example where that could come in badly. 13 into 12. 1 and 1, 12. So somebody already figured out the question? Yes, very good. That's the answer. 13 over 12, very good. So 3 into 12, 4. 4 by that is 1. So this is plus 4. So we're finishing off with 9 plus 4 is 13 over 12, which means this is 1 and 1/12. So that's your addition of just those simple little fractions like that. Now he asked the question, why we don't just say 4 by 3 is 12 to get the LCM? Because sometimes you may get a question like this. If you had 4, 3 plus 1, 8. Now if you say 4 by 8, you're going to get 32. You're going to get a big number. But that's not actually the LCM. What is the LCM of 4 and 8? Now you can still get the answer correct, but you'll end up dealing with bigger numbers. So can you tell me the LCM of 4 and 8? It's not 32. It's actually 8. Yes. So the LCM of 4 and 8 is actually 8. So you say 4 into 8, 2. Ting! And the 2 comes and multiply by the 3. So 4 into 8, 2. 2 by 3, 6. Catch the drift. 8 into 8, 1. So you just leave that number there. 1 by 1, 1. So the answer is going to be 7 over 8. Alright, so take out a pen and paper or your book, which you're supposed to already have in front of you. Hoping that you do. And let's do these easy questions here. So these simple questions here. The subtraction would work in a similar way. I haven't yet introduced negative numbers in this class. So the first one, people getting 7/8. I think that's number 1. People saying is 7/8. Some people say 9/12. Well, that's 7/8 also previous. That's for this. Okay. My bad. Number 1 is a half. Some people say 9/12. Some people say a half. Like I'm leaning towards the half. Leaning towards the half, people. A quarter plus 3/12. 12. 4 into 12. 3 by 1. 3. 12, so 3. So the answer is going to be 6 over 12. 6 over 12 can break down because 6 into 6 is 1 and 12 into 12 is 6 into 12 is 2, so the answer is a half. Very good. Very good. So that was the answer for the first one. I'm going to erase it now. Remember, you could always watch over the video to get answers and stuff that I do, so it's not like it gone forever and ever. That's a good thing about these live classes. 1/5 plus 2/7. People getting 17 over 35 because the LCM is indeed 35. 5 into 35, 7. 7 by 1 is that. 7 into 35, 5. 5 by 2 is 10. Add that up, you get 17 over 35. That's correct. Can we get the answer for number 3 now? Can we get the answer for number 3 now? So we have half an hour to go in the class again. Half an hour and we'll be done with the first session. Touching the basics in maths. Some people saying 1 and 1/18. Let's see if that makes sense. Find that answer sounding suspicious. 17 over 18 sounding better. 17 over 18 sounding better. So 5/6 plus 1/9. LCM is 18. 6 could go into 18 3 times. 3 by 5 is 15. 6 into 18 3 times. The 3 multiplied by the number over the 6. Alright, so 3 by 5 is 15. 9 could go into 18 2 times. So your answer turns out to be 17 over 18. So straightforward enough? Cool, straightforward enough. Now, the next technique you need to know how to do is to change an improper fraction into a mixed number. So to change an improper fraction into a mixed number is simple. You take the 10, you take the denominator and divide by that and see how much times you can go into. Forget about the remainder, how much times can you go into there? So you all can write the answer for this one time. And the questions that I'm going to give you all for this are simple as well. Three and a half, people are saying 3.5. Yes, because 10 could go into 35. How many times? 3 times. 3 times are 30. So in your mind you see 10 could go into 35 3 times. But yes, 35 is the number. So you need to say 35, take away the 30. It's going to give me the 5. Understand? So the answer is going to be 3 and 5 over 10. I'm not really going into the primary school way of doing it, because I expect it to be kind of not. I expect you to have that part of it done, right? So 3.5, because we could break down this 5 over 10 to a half. Let's get some answers. So for number 1, Seema has the answer for number 1, Roseanne has the answer for number 1. Number 2, Seema has the answer for number 2. Abigail has the answer for number 1 there. Nice. Nice. So 7 into 11, 1. Remainder 4 over 7, because 11 take away 7 is 4. Right, so 4 sevens. 7 could go into 28 4 times. 7 fours are 28. 7, 14, 21, 28. 7 fours are 28. 29 take away 28 is 1, so I'll have a remainder 1 over 7. And how much times I said? 4. So 4 and 1/7. And 2 could go into 5 2 times, because 2 by 3 is 6. So 2 2s are 4. So 2 times. And obviously a remainder 1. So that's that. So your mixed number game is strong. So when you need to add a mixed number and like 2 mixed numbers, or a mixed number and a fraction, you can do 2 things. You can first change both of these numbers into improper fractions, sorry, I did something wrong there. 3 2s are 6, 7 over 2 plus 1 3 is 3, 4 over 3. So you can change both numbers to improper fractions, and then you do your LCM thing from before and work it out. So anybody know this method? You do your LCM thing and you work it out like what we was doing it before when you add any fractions. Or, so this is one way, or you could add these numbers separately and then work with the fractions afterwards. Sometimes this way is faster because you don't have to change them, you don't need to create no improper fractions, right? So sometimes the second method is faster, but sometimes the second method can run into problems if you don't understand what you're doing, because sometimes when you add the whole numbers, the fractions end up giving you more than a fraction, and you get next piece of whole number that you have to come and add back to this whole number again. So the easiest thing to do, the recommended thing to do, which is a lot of times could turn out to be the long way, is number 1. But the fun thing about it is that every time you're doing this, you would have your calculator to help you, right? So you'd have your calculator to help you just crunch the numbers a little faster. Even if you had to show the working, you can still double check it on your calculator, especially a powerful calculator like this one that can work it out in fractions. Alright, so let's just add on a few more questions here, adding in some more complex questions. See if you all can get these guys out. Sorry, this should be 3/4. Alright, see if you can get out these guys here. Yeah. So 4 and 5, 6 people are saying for the first one. 4 and 5, 6. 4 and 5, 6. That's number 1. Or was that for this? For number 1. Maybe that 4 and 5, 6 was for this, but okay, so 4 and 5, 6 was for this. 2, 3, 6. 2 into 6. 2 into 6 is 3. 3 by that is 21. 3 into 6 is 2. 8. So we get 29 over 6. 6 could go into that 4 times, so yes. So the answer for this one here was 4 and 5, 6. They are correct. So 4 and 5, 6 was that. Let's see. We got answers for here. So I'm seeing people saying 4 and 1, 12 for the first one. My little working box here. So for the first one, 1 and a third plus 2 and 3 over 4. 1 and a third plus 2 and 3 over 4. I gotta figure out how to. Oi. So somebody just. I wonder if anybody from here just buzzed me. Alright, so what are we doing? Changing the mix. So this question, alright, let's do the change to mix example. 1 by 3, 3, 4, 2, 4 is 8, 3, 11, 4. Here we 12, because you need to get your LCM. Obviously you could use your calculator to help you out in the dance here. 3 into 12, 4, 16. You understand what I'm doing? 3 into 12 gives me 4. 4 by the numerator on top of that. It's 4 by 4 is 16. And now 4 into 12 is 3. So 4 into this 4 into 12 is 3. And 3 by 11 is 33. So this is going to give me 949 over 12. 12 could go into 49 4 times because 4 12s are 48. And you'll just have 1 remaining. So that was correct. Everybody got that one correct. The second one. Yeah, I probably have space. Now the second one, you can work it out in your mind, because if this is a half, take away a quarter, it's going to be 4 1/4. So the answer for that is 4 1/4. For the second one, 4 1/4. Whatever working you do, 4 1/4 is the answer. And I don't think people will get problems with that. Anytime, sometimes I'll assume things. Anytime you want me to do anything, like do it out to certain things, just let me know. 2, don't feel bashful. 2 and 1 6 plus 4 5th. 2 and a 6 plus 4 5th. So let's do that one. Alright, so 2 and 1 6th. Whoa, 8:40 already, just 20 more minutes again. 2 and 1 6 plus 4 5ths. Let's change this one to improper. Oh, by the way, if you did, it's addition, so it doesn't really matter. So 2 and 1 6 plus 4 5ths. Change this to improper. We'll have 13 over 6 plus 4 over 5. You get LCM here, which turns out to be 30. That's kind of big, so we end up in some big numbers here. 6 into 35, 5 by 13. 5 by 13, 5 3 is 5 by 13. That's how much? 65 or something? 65. 65. 5 into 30 is 6. 6 4s are 24. Add up like a boss. 24 plus 65. Do you think? T could go into that. Oh my gosh, very close. Almost make it to the 90. So this is going to have to be 2 and 29 over 30. So I see a lot of people get out these answers. So great. So we understand that part in fractions. Now, believe it or not, this is your first question in the AdMaths exam. Just one more, not the AdMaths, sorry, the maths exam. Just one more step, they're going to take it a little further. Just one step further, they will take it. And that'll be your first question in your maths exam. The additional step is there will be a numerator and denominator involved. So there might be like 2 and a third, and you might see something like 1 and a half plus 2 and 3/4. Right, so this is a simple one. I just want to show you the proper way to write this question out. The first thing to do is obviously do it in your calculator and get your answer and make sure you have your answer, right? So you type it up in this calculator whole. The next class I will do a little, I'll do a little show and tell on this calculator, especially for the first few questions that we're doing, so you can understand how to use this calculator. And if you have the sharp, I'll do a little show and tell on that. So 89 over 30 was the answer as well. You can leave it in improper if you want, or you can change it to a mixed fraction. 2 and 29 over 30. So the first thing to do is type this in your calculator, get the correct answer. So I'm going to quickly type this in my calculator and get the correct answer and write it on the side. So just in case you're working turn out to be trash, at least you have the correct answer to guide you, right? 1 1/2 plus 2 3/4 divided by 2 1/3. So what's the answer we get? So they are telling me that the answer is 3. Exactly 3. Which is suspicious. But we go with that. We go with the flow. So they're saying that the answer is actually 3. Anybody else got 3? 3, right? So on our calculator we got 3. So the correct way to do this, the best way to do this to get your marks, based on what CXC is saying, is you write your numerator, you write the word numerator, and you work out the numerator separately. I had addition all the way 2 1/3, 1 1/2 plus 2 3/4. Yeah. So people get 123/28. Well, I didn't use my full calculator. I didn't use the mixed number thing. I just used a shortcut for mixed numbers. So I could be wrong. I'll double check it just now. So numerator. Right, so you change it, you work with the numerator like if the numerator is by itself. That's how you want to do this. So the numerator is there by himself. You're going to work with the numerator, boil it down to one fraction. Sometimes the denominator might need work too, like if it was the next thing here. You know, work with your denominator, boil it down to one fraction, then divide. And everybody know when you divide in fractions is that you do a little flippy thing. A little flip thing on the end in there. So let's see how this goes. So only the numerator needs work because the numerator has 2 terms. First things first, change to mixed numbers. 2 4s are 8. 8 plus 3. So you have 1 and 4. LCM that youth. So this is going to be 6 and this is going to be 11. So this turns out to be 17 on 4. So that's a numerator. And then once your numerator and your denominator in order, you come and you write therefore it's 17 on 4 divided by, my denominator wasn't fully in order. Sorry for my handwriting, people. I tried my best these days to bring it up to scratch. Denominator is actually 2, right? 3 is 6, 7. 7 over 3, right? So I fix the denominator. Divided by 7 over 3. So this is going to be equal to 17 by 4 multiply by 3 over 7. I didn't see anything to break down here. At all. So 17 times 3, 51 over 28. Right, so 51 over 28 is the answer. You could always change that to that. No, you usually don't change to decimals unless specified. You could use you could change it to a mixed number. 28 could go in one time, remainder some change. Remainder 23. So it could be 1 and 23 over 28 if you want. You could write it like that as well. So we good to go there? Alright, so now I need to just double check this and make sure my calculator actually working properly because that was kind of scary. Shift, boom, 1 and oh yes, so yeah. The mistake was me, not my calculator. So we good. Alright, so in the meanwhile, we will do one question. Now keep in mind this is CXC. This is a CXC style question you are doing here. 3 and 5th. Take away 2/5. Take away no. 6 divided by 5 over 12. Good luck. May the force be with you. Oh my gosh, it's just 10 more minutes again in the life. So I want you all to look out tomorrow for the answer sheet. So while I say doing that, already homework. Yes, this class has homework. Not the answer sheet, the worksheet. We have a worksheet. The answers for the worksheet will be sent weekend. Review syllabus. So you just have two homework to do. The worksheet and to review your syllabus. Make sure you follow what I do in the syllabus. Make sure you're on point with me. Work with me, people. The number one concern for an online class is accountability. And a lot of people here, just by applying for the online class means you have a degree of accountability to yourself. So It's not like I over you with a big stick. Some of you all I may never see you all. You all might see me somewhere, but I might never see some of you all. So it's up to you to discipline yourself, right? You all will send in the answers for your worksheet. And I will, if you finish your worksheet before we can send in your answers, I'll have a look at it, maybe throw in some advice for you. 6 and 12. 6 and 12, 25. 6 and 12 over 25. 162 over 25. I wanted it to work out to be a nicer number, you know? The number get disgusting. So remember, when you're working it, try and do your working nice and neatly. The reason I'm giving you all worksheets and I want you all to try and send it to me is because I want to see how you're writing your setup and thing, if everything is organized in a nice way. So we sorting out the numerator. 16 over 5, take away 3/6. 3/6. I guess we had to work with 30 here, boy. 35 into that. 6 by 16. Gives me 96. Take away 15. So I ended up with 81 over 30 for my numerator. So in the end, it's going to be 81 over 30. And I'm changing it to multiply one time and inverting one time. 12 over 5. Oh, so should I make you 6 and that would work out better? Right? And people are saying that this answer is turning out to be let's make sure now order here. 6 by 5, 5 by 2, 6, 6, 16, 26, right. Alright, good. So you have 81 over 30 multiplied by 12 over 5, and this gave me 162 over 25, which is what most people are getting. And change it to mixed numbers. Change it to mixed number, you're getting 6 and change. 6 and 12. 6 and 12, because it will be 150. So this is the same as 6 and 12 over 25. 6 and 12 over 25. Alright, so you're going to do one more question for the road. This one is going to be a little more difficult because it's going to have numerator and denominator. And actually, let's just take a little quick recap of what we have done today. I'll give you all one more for the road. So we went through the syllabus and I explained to you the new syllabus, the topics in the syllabus and what we're looking at. We also talked about the different types of paper and how much marks each paper go for. Paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. And I beg you all to try and see if you can do the SBA. Even if you're a private candidate, try and do the SBA. If you are a school student, do not get a bad SBA mark, especially if you are weak in maths. Because if God forbid that you do poorly in maths next year, God forbid, because you're in this class, right? You want that SBA mark to carry when you get C. If you get serious the following year, that SBA mark can carry, right? So you want to try and do the SBA. But if you can't, we will give you the best preparation possible for the other paper, the alternative, the paper 3, right? And there's actually 3 past papers now for paper 3. You're starting to get more and more past papers, so you can start to look for patterns and understand how paper 3 is tested. We talked about the KCR and the percentages each paper carries to the total. Then we went into the syllabus, number 1. And we are going in order in the syllabus. First things we talked about was the types of numbers, the sets of numbers. We didn't talk about sets, but the set of numbers, natural numbers, whole numbers, rational numbers, irrational numbers. The inclusion relation, this inclusion relation is what we drew here. We expressed it in a diagrammatic way, and we talked about how it falls into play in this way, in that natural numbers are counting numbers, whole numbers you're adding 0, integers you could have negative or positive, rationals you could have fractions, and irrational is numbers like pi or square root of 2 or e, And real numbers, everybody. And you don't need to know about imaginary numbers. Then we spoke about the sets of different styles of numbers: square numbers, even numbers, prime numbers, composite numbers. Take a look at the syllabus. So can you organize a way for your private students to do SPA? No, that's impossible. You must be a registered, fully registered school and exam center. One person cannot be an exam center. So wherever you signing up by to do the exam, that is the key. That's the key, right? No, I wish I could. I really wish I could. Then we did HCF and LCM. After we talked about square root and cube root, we did HCF and LCM. Then we went into fractions, using HCF and LCM to solve fraction questions. We did simple fractions, we did mixed numbers, we did subtraction and takeaway. We even did a bit of multiplication and division, how we'd go about the division of fractions. Your homework is obviously going to be on stuff like this. It's going to be past paper stuff. It's going to be past paper stuff. Nah, it doesn't look like that. It's going to be past paper stuff. You all could message me. I may not respond to your messages. No. Because I have lots of messages to respond to for students who are doing physics tomorrow. So find out if they do SPA before you sign up. If they don't, find somewhere that does. Yes. Try to sign up somewhere that does SPA. It may cost you a little more. And you may have to attend some private classes. You may have to attend some classes part-time or something. But doing SBA is a massive advantage. I'm practically going to give you the SBA on a plate and say, hey, fix up. Right? That's what I'm going to do with the SBA. So you're going to get a nice walk through the SBA. So how we sending the homework? You're sending me everything to my Instagram number. You would have probably seen my WhatsApp there. Now, I am not going to correct your homework word for word, everything like that. I am going to send the answers for the homework on Saturday, but I'm going to watch everybody's homework, and like if I see things that are alarming, like how you write in your question, how things that would be detrimental to your learning, that's where I would step in, right? I will also have people working along with me as well to balance the workload. But you could always message me. Remember I said I'm kind of drained and busy because of exam season, but I really wanted to start this class in June to get a head start for the stuff. Alright, we're kind of at the end here, so I think we'll call that George. I'll give you the bonus question in your worksheet. Remember to look out for the worksheet tomorrow and review the syllabus. The maximum number of viewers we had was 40. So I know there's close to 2 times that amount registered. So some people would be viewing the live after the thing. If you are one of those people viewing the live after the live, that's cool. But if you could try and view it in the live so you could answer questions and ask questions. Yes, sir. Give us a multiple choice class that is coming. So for paper 2, is it an issue if you do workouts with pencil? Not really. Just make sure your pencil is dark and not smudging. Right? How are we getting the worksheet? The worksheet everything will be sent via the WhatsApp group for now. Right? Rather than have you download a new program. I spoke with someone from Antigua who has the biggest online platform for teachers in the Caribbean. But right now, nothing can really beat WhatsApp and YouTube, and just how it's already on your phone. It's simple, like you message, you text it. So even instead of having to download an app and go on a website, you just use WhatsApp and YouTube. Alright, good night people. I may have to go back online again, but this will be for physics people for CXC, and this will be a public live. It was real nice teaching this class. You all are really great students. It's gonna be a year, so I hope all your stamina are ready and we're ready to work together to get this done for a year, and it'll be fully prepared by me. Alright, hold it down guys. I'm out. Signing out. Thanks for the feel better.